Hey guys, this is Anime Ballz here, and today we are going to be doing the first part of What If Naruto Was a Fox Sage. The like goal of this What If will be the standard 100 likes. If you pass 100 likes, then part 2 will be out in the near future. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Slick talker since a jet. Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag. Disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
In this What If, Naruto will learn Imperfect Sage mode, but instead it's from Kurama. Naruto goes to Kurama and says, I need to become strong for the Chunin exams. I need more power, but I want different power. You've been around on Earth for a while now, so do you have anything that you can teach me? Kurama says, yes, I have something that will amp your power, but only for a short time, and it takes a very long time to prepare, and it takes serious control. Naruto says, I don't care, I just need to get stronger. Naruto goes into a forest deep in the outskirts of the village and brings loads of food, able to keep himself going for 2 weeks or so. Naruto crosses his legs and the Ninetales says, since we don't have any substance to aid you in sensing natural energy, you will have to solely learn to sense natural energy that is around you. Naruto, after a few days of soul hard work, he manages to get something. He feels an energy around him that he instinctively starts to absorb. He opens his eyes and the energy fades away. This is because he absorbed way too little, so the natural energy is just expelled from his body. Naruto is elated and shouts, I can feel it, I can feel it! Naruto starts to focus and collects a substantial amount of natural energy. He still takes too little and says, the energy keeps on just disappearing after I absorb it. Kurama then says, try and absorb a little over the perfected amount. Naruto says, what? Kurama says, just take in more than you already have, way more. Naruto does so and a fox's tail grows from behind him and sharp claws starts to take shape. His eyes go red and red outline covers Naruto's whole eye. Naruto goes to a boulder and lifts it easily, then throws it up into the air. He jumps into the air and kicks the boulder. The boulder shatters and rubble comes running down onto Naruto. Naruto lands back onto the ground and feels really strong now. Kurama says you have achieved the most severe imperfect Fox Sage mode. By this time the Chunin exams have started. Naruto doesn't reveal it in the Forest of Death because he's exposed when standing still. We will only be going into depth on Naruto vs Kiba because this is the only match with a serious change in it. Naruto doesn't have Perfect Sage mode yet and only Imperfect, so he goes into Imperfect Fox Sage mode and hopes he wins in the extremely short time frame that he has. Naruto talks to Kurama and Kurama says, if Sage mode runs out, I'll give you a slither of my chakra, just to keep you from losing. Before we get into the match, I'll elaborate on Fox Style Taijutsu. Fox Style Taijutsu is a way of Taijutsu where the user likes to crouch to the ground using the ground as a force to jump off of and a sort of shield. Basically, it is built off from this mentality to end up making a fighting style using the ground to your advantage. Naruto has learned certain key aspects of the fighting style but hasn't got the full hang of it yet. The match commences and Naruto ducks to the ground on all fours like Kiba does. Naruto and Kiba do synonymous actions and jump from their positions and clash. Naruto gets punched away while Naruto also punches him away. They go flying back to where they were and Naruto has a plan now. He runs on all fours like a fox and as soon as he gets close to Kiba, he jumps over him. Kiba dodges by rolling forward and Kiba fell right into his trap. Naruto runs at fast speeds to Kiba. He is kind of slide running to stay as close to the ground as humanly possible while normally running. Naruto throws a smoke bomb while they're still vulnerable and jumps into the air. He dives down and uses his sense of smell to track Kiba. He does so and lands a nasty punch to the side of the head. Kiba goes flying out of the smoke screen and Naruto pulls out 2 yellow ball things. Naruto runs to them and tries to throw a punch. Kiba dodges by moving his head just a little, but he is still tracking it with his eyes. This is a lethal mistake. Naruto drops it on the ground and he makes a flash bomb that stuns Kiba. He punches Kiba hard and floors him. Naruto jumps back and Akamaru comes running right at him. Akamaru turns red and eventually into a full-on humanoid beast. Naruto jumps over him and lands on the ceiling. Naruto weaves several hand signs and uses the multi-shadow clone jutsu and multiple shadow clones come hurling down to Akamaru. Akamaru is focusing on the clones and as they poof away, more chakra is returning to Naruto. Naruto throws a flash bomb and it explodes. Both Kiba and Akamaru get flashed and Naruto gathers his chakra to his 4 limbs and jumps off of the ceiling. He uses his chakra and gravity to create an ultimate punch that knocks out Kiba when he slams into the ground. Naruto lands and falls out of his imperfect sage mode. Akamaru doesn't resist because he is very injured. Naruto wins the match from a knockout. Now Naruto is trained for the whole month and has now perfected the Fox Sage mode, but there's no actual way that he'll be able to fall into Fox Sage mode if he's in battle. He makes sure to get into Fox Sage mode before he actually makes it into the match. Just saying, I gave Naruto white hair when in perfect Fox Sage mode for cosmetics to make it clearer when he's in Fox Sage mode, and if he's not just in imperfect Fox Sage mode. Naruto gets into the arena and has his red glowing eyes in full effect. Naruto makes his stance and the match commences. Naruto zooms across the floor like slide running and jumps right at Neji. Naruto gets hit with the 64 palm suddenly and he goes flying backwards away from Neji. Naruto stands and talks to Kurama. What should I do? Kurama says, he has exceptional defense, use brute force and speed. More Shadow Clone Jutsu should knock him down at least a little. Naruto creates 50 clones and sends them all for Neji. Neji uses the 8 trigrams palm rotation in reaction to this and keeps himself away from Naruto's clones. Naruto says, he can do that? Not a problem. Naruto runs at high speeds to Neji and creates a clone. He manages to transform it into a Fuma Shuriken and Naruto throws it at high speed. It spins right to Neji and Neji isn't phased. He moves his head and the Shuriken is coming right at him. Just before it goes past Neji, it transforms back into a human clone. Naruto smiles and the clone tries to punch Neji, but he obviously misses because Neji dodges. Neji smiles but then he is still hit by the punch. This is because Naruto's natural energy aura has attacked Neji. Naruto runs straight at Neji and punches him away. He runs and jumps over him, then turns. He kicks Neji up, then performs what he likes to call the Fox Sage finisher move. He kicks Neji all the way down to the ground and Neji goes through the ground from all the force. Naruto looks to the side and sees an injured Neji standing with his weak stance. Naruto turns and throws several kunai. Neji blocks all of them so Naruto pulls out a smoke bomb and keeps it firm in hand for the future. Naruto runs at Neji and they fall into serious taijutsu combat. Naruto ducks under Neji's kick and throws a smoke bomb in his eyes. Neji takes a step back and rubs his eyes. In this time, Naruto has planted himself on the ground. He jumps and headbutts Neji out of the smoke screen and jumps onto the wall. He weaves hand signs and hurls a transformed Fuma Shuriken to Neji. Neji catches it and throws it back. Naruto walks up the wall and the Shuriken digs into the wall extremely far in. He is balancing on it and not moving because this is what you have to learn when going into Sage mode. Currently, Naruto is thinking of a plan to beat Neji with Kurama. He says, we don't have time, about 40 seconds left of Sage mode I believe. Kurama says, just use the combo. Naruto nods and appears back into real life. Naruto stands and jumps off of the wall in an instant. Naruto throws a punch at Neji and he gets hit back. Naruto jumps at him and Naruto grabs him by the neck and slams Neji so hard in the wall that his headband falls off his head. Neji uses the 8 trigrams palm rotation and pushes Neji back. Neji gets off the wall and makes his stance ready to stop anything that comes at him. Naruto creates 40 clones and they all plant themselves onto the wall on all fours. They all circulate their chakra and now Naruto is 20 seconds left. Naruto's clones all fly at Neji and one by one Neji is to block their immense speeds. Neji gets hit by one, then another, then multiple other clones. Neji starts to cough blood and Naruto zooms with much more speed than the other clones. Neji gets slammed into the wall with a mighty punch and Naruto falls out of Sage mode. Naruto stands strong and wins the match with little injuries in return. Naruto is elated and returns to the crowd to watch the following matches. Gaara has gone insane and has left the arena. Gaara runs across the forest and Naruto is currently in a genjutsu. Naruto wakes up and senses natural energy disturbance ahead of him. He follows it and finds Sasuke running in the forest. Naruto easily catches up and says, "What's going on?" Sasuke says, "I'm finishing the battle." Sasuke goes forward and Naruto follows. Naruto sees Gaara and Gaara starts to crazily scream. Gaara's arm turns into that of Shukaku's. Naruto says, "Fend him off, I'll need to stay stationary for a while." Sasuke looks confused but is intelligent and understands that Naruto is up to something. Sasuke thinks he must be transforming into that thing where his hair is white and his eyes are red. Sasuke jumps down and jumps up again to test Gaara's speed. Gaara actually grazed him on the foot and Sasuke already has a cut on his left ankle. Sasuke puts his hand to the floor and looks up. He activates his Sharingan and uses the last Chidori that he could possibly use for today. Sasuke jumps down to Gaara, but Gaara puts his arm out and easily blocks the direct attack. The sand partially disintegrates, but the Chidori overall has been stopped firmly. Sasuke gets slapped into a tree and the noise makes Naruto concerned, and Naruto says, "Just a little longer, ugh." Sakura has arrived and has to fend off Gaara. Yes, she gets completely destroyed. Sakura is completely knocked out, but Sasuke is actually still awake but heavily injured. Sasuke gets up and runs right at Gaara. Gaara's tail grows and hits Sasuke back. Naruto opens his eyes and jumps down to Gaara. He jumps down and punches Gaara so hard that Gaara goes flying. Naruto is sweating profusely because his body can't take this much chakra absorption. Luckily, he will be using less since the natural energy is present. Naruto jumps at Gaara and punches him several times in the face. He jumps back and grabs Sakura. He also grabs Sasuke and puts them away. Gaara says, "They're both dead!" Gaara runs right at Naruto, but Naruto puts his palm out and sends Gaara back with his natural aura. He punches him upwards to follow, then jumps much higher than Gaara. Just to put the scale, he's above every tree in that forest that he's in. He creates a clone and starts to spin down. He throws the clone and the clone punches Gaara when it reaches Gaara. Naruto lands back on the ground and reveals several kunai. He throws them at Gaara. Gaara blocks all of them and soon enough he turns into half Shukaku. Naruto weaves hand signs and jumps onto the tree. He controls his chakra and jumps at Gaara. He punches him hard and then he creates something like 300 clones and they all pound on Gaara. Gaara gets destroyed. Then Naruto performs the Fox Sage Mode style Naruto Uzumaki combo. Gaara gets pounded on, then Gaara turns into the full-fledged Shukaku. Kurama says, "I have an idea, summon my other half." Naruto is so confused, so Kurama says, "We don't have time. Summon my other half from Minato's real body and use it as something to jump on." He isn't as sinister as I am. It can only be held for 20 seconds even with Sage Mode. If it doesn't have Sage Mode, then it can't be performed. Naruto summons something like 70% of the Yang chakra from the body of Minato and something happens. A huge dark fur beast appears below him and he says, "What do you need?" Naruto shouts, "Get him!" Kurama says, "Oh, One Tail, it's not even a competition." The Nine Tails runs at Shukaku and slams it with its tail, then punches it in the face incredibly hard and Shukaku dissipates on the ground. Shukaku is revealed and the Yang Kurama disappears. Naruto goes flying down to ground, but as we know it doesn't hurt him as much because he's in Sage Mode. Naruto lands and sees a lifeless Gaara. He takes Sasuke and Sakura then jumps away because he senses Samari and Kankuro coming to take Gaara. They return and Naruto is very tired from this whole situation. So that will conclude the first part of What If Naruto Was a Fox stage. Just remember the standard 100 like goal will be on this video. Please put in the comments anything that you liked about this What If or anything that I should improve on for the next part. If you really did like this story, like and subscribe and put on post notifications to tell you when the next part will be uploaded at an accurate time. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.